The Yakuza series. Since first releasing on the PS2 back in 2005 in Japan before coming to the West a year later, the franchise has developed from the captivating tale of one man, Kazuma Kiryu, into an ensemble piece with multiple charismatic protagonists trading blows and singing karaoke all over Japan, with a trip to Hawaii on the cards in 2024. The series was recently rebranded as Like a Dragon, with the release of Like a Dragon Ishin earlier this year. This new franchise title is a translation of the series' original name of Ryuga Gotoku, which is also the name of the studio behind the games. After Kiryu's saga, which unfolded over the first 7 mainline Yakuza games, fans were introduced to Ichiban Kasuga, who took the lead role in the somewhat confusingly named Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is effectively Yakuza 7. As well as a new hero, the game also brought a turn-based approach to combat, moving away from the beat-em-up stylings of the previous entries. However, we've now got a brand new game starring the original hero Kiryu, who bowed out of the limelight in Yakuza 6 Song of Life, and it's called Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Confused? Well, don't be, as I'm James from FTS, and this is 7 things you need to know for Like a Dragon Gaiden. Also, obviously spoiler alert for previous games in the series. Number 1, it's an important series entry. Like a Dragon Gaiden may not be a numbered entry, but it's every bit as pivotal to get the full picture of Kiryu's arc. Those are the words of a tweet from Kiryu's English language voice actor Young Ye. Before we dissect this, it's worth pointing out that Kiryu made his debut in the original Yakuza as the lead character, and continued in this role for much of the following 6 games, including prequel Yakuza 0, sometimes sharing the spotlight with others before ultimately concluding his story, or so we thought. At the end of 2016's Yakuza 6, Kiryu took the drastic step of faking his death. The reason the Dragon of Dojima, as he's known in the criminal underworld, did this was due to his status effectively inviting challenge from villainous types. Throughout the initial 7 Yakuza titles, Kiryu saved the day many times, making plenty of enemies while doing so, both within his own crime organization and among international groups. So Kiryu made the choice to disappear in order to protect those around him, chiefly his adopted daughter Haruka, now all grown up with her own child. This agonizing decision proves beyond a doubt, as if there were any, that Kiryu is the best dad in the world. However, it's clear from Yea's tweet that the pain weighs heavy on our hero, and who could blame him? However, Kiryu returned 3 years later in Yakuza Like a Dragon, appearing as an unnamed bodyguard to senior Yakuza figures at a tense meeting between the Tojo clan and Omi Alliance, 2 rival factions. While originally a stranger to the new main character Ichiban, the story sees him briefly turn antagonist before ultimately becoming a non-playable ally. So we know that Kiryu's absence didn't last forever, but we don't know what happened between these 2 points. Luckily for us, Like a Dragon Gaiden will tell that story. Without going into spoiler territory, we know he's operating as an agent for the Daidoji Foundation under the name Joryu. The new game will begin with Joryu investigating an illegal gold smuggling site in what is meant to be an easy mission. Knowing Kiryu as we do, he's probably in for a nasty surprise. Number 2, different combat styles. Fans of the series know all too well how much punishment Kiryu can hand out on the many fools who dare pick a fight with him. Whether wielding his fists, weapons, or any heavy object he can find around him, the Dragon of Dojima is an artist when it comes to knocking baddies into next week, and in Like a Dragon Gaiden, his beat-em-up skills are better than ever. Our hero has his Yakuza fighting style, which is pretty much as I described already, with the ability to knock enemies out with a focus more on power than finesse. It's visceral and oh so rewarding to see it in action. However, at the click of a button, Kiryu also has the agent style, which offers a different but equally pleasing flavor. In this mode, you can not only administer an array of punches and so on, but you can also evade with what appear to be rocket-loaded shoes? And as if that wasn't cool enough, there's even a Spider-Man-esque wire tool which can be flipped out to stagger and stun any poor goon in your path. Honestly, I need more of this sweet combat now. Number 3, minigames galore. The Yakuza / Like a Dragon series is famed for its wealth of distractions, ranging from side stories to collectibles. You can lose hours among the streets of Kamurocho, Ijincho, and anywhere else within the series thanks to the abundance of things to do, including, above all, the minigames. You can run a real estate empire, check out the batting cages, or, if you're like me, lose hours to the UFO catchers. I just have to get every kind of bunchan, okay? Luckily for us, Like a Dragon Gaiden follows suit with games like darts and even blackjack to help while away the hours when you just want to chill in the world of Yakuza. And who could blame you? It's a visually gorgeous place with a charming atmosphere, and if you really want to be immersed in it, well, Gaiden has gone one step further in its hostess minigame. Now, wooing women is nothing new, with previous Yakuza games and the Judgment spin-off titles featuring the ability to flirt, but the difference in Gaiden is that the women are live action, And I'll just stop you there because I know they're live action in Yakuza 6, but they're on the other side of an in-game computer screen while Kiryu is in an internet cafe, so it's not quite the same. This extra layer of realism makes for a more engrossing encounter because even though it initially makes you feel very aware that you're playing a video game due to the shift in graphical fidelity, it ultimately becomes more absorbing due to the acting skills of the person playing off of your dialogue choices. As for whether your dates are successful, well, that's really down to you, Casanova. And while you're here, why not subscribe to the FGS YouTube channel? If not for us, do it for Kiryu, and leave a like while you're there. Number 4. Players' iconic characters. As if it wasn't a big enough pull that Gaiden puts Kiryu back in the middle of the action, RGG's next adventure sees many more beloved characters return to the fold thanks to another minigame that I've not yet mentioned, the Colosseum. This arena-style challenge mode has you fighting against hordes of enemies in chaotic fashion. It's a damn good time on its own, similar to the challenge missions in Ishin, but the big bonus here is who you get to play as. There's a delightful array of familiar faces available here, with the big daddy of them all being Kiryu's friend, enemy, and, to many of us, soulmate, Goro Majima. The mad dog of Shimano, who back in Yakuza 0 established himself as one of the greatest heroes in the series, if not all of video games, but that's a conversation for another time, is on the roster of characters you can wield in the Colosseum, and he's an aggressive gem. Of course, we'd love for Majima to be playable in the main story, but this is still pretty great to be honest. Number 5. Customization. When it comes to clothes, Kiryu is arguably most recognizable in his grey suit with maroon shirts. That's not to say he hasn't donned other threads before. His white suit from Yakuza 0 is up there as one of the most gangster looks you could ask for, while his Hawaiian shirt gave a dad vibe you never really see in video games. But his grey fit is the one that usually comes to mind. The thing is, not only has Kiryu erased his name, he's apparently binned his wardrobe, instead sporting a tasteful black number for the Secret Service aesthetic. If this look leaves you cold, don't panic, as Gaiden lets you change up his look. There's plenty of colors to rock, and even fedoras, because if there's one character who can pull off such a mean look, it's the Dragon of Dojima. Now all you have to do is pick the right ensemble for both beating up thugs and hitting the hostess club. Enjoy! Number 6. English language dub coming later. Back to Yongyea's Twitter again, and it's bad news for anyone who isn't a fan of subtitles. The actor confirmed that an English language dub is in the works for Like a Dragon Gaiden, but it won't be available when the game launches, instead coming in a patch, although there's currently no date for that. While the majority of Yakuza games have been Japanese voices only, with subtitle for those of us that speak English, Yakuza Like a Dragon and the Judgment games feature an English dub. In fact, the original Yakuza was dubbed in English too, with some big names in the cast including Mark Hamill as Majima. So if you're waiting on the English dub, bear in mind you'll be waiting a while, but hopefully not too long. Number 7. Release date and price. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name will release November 9, 2023 on PC, PS4 and 5, and Xbox consoles, retailing at $44.99 in the UK and $49.99 in the US. Now we should point out that the Kiryu-led title is a digital-only release in the West, and I think we can all agree this is less than cool. After much speculation, the news was eventually confirmed by developer Ryuga Gotoku with their official website stating no physical edition will be released. Maybe this isn't that surprising, given the increasingly digital world we live in. The way instant gratification fuels our consumption is well suited to the digital instant delivery model, or maybe the circumstances changed our way of shopping. Tabling the deeper psychological and sociological questions, the bottom line here is Sega has deemed plastic a no-go for the Western release, and we'll all have to learn to live with that unless they regret their actions and realize they've been a fool. And there we have it, our 7 things to know for Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. Will you be picking this up? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to give this video a like and follow FGS for more great content.